Hello and welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to make a batch of healthy granola. It is a perfect day for it. My house smells so good because I've just got a batch that came out and I thought I'd show you how I put it together. So grab a big bowl, and this is our stainless mixing bowl. It's got a silicone base, and so it grabs on your countertop, which makes it really wonderful. We are not using any oil or artificial sweeteners in this granola today. We're going to use some applesauce. I've got, let's see, a third of a cup of applesauce. This is unsweetened applesauce that I made in my pressure cooker, in the multi-cooker, and then I took an immersion blender to it to make it nice and smooth. I froze it, and I had some left from using it for dinner a couple nights ago, so I wanted to finish it up. I've got a couple tablespoons of peanut butter. Again, I made this in my deluxe cooking blender with just dry, roasted, unsalted peanuts and a little bit of sea salt, so there's no sugar in here either. And then we're gonna add some sweetener, but it's a raw sugar. So this is maple syrup from my parents' farm in Vermont. I need a quarter of a cup, so I'm just gonna adjust my measuring cup. I store my big jug of maple syrup in the freezer, and then I just keep a little jar of it in my fridge. So maple syrup is so good, and my parents' syrup is organic, it's delicious. If you don't have their website, I'll give it to you. I'll put it in the comments. I prefer the darker syrup because it has a more pronounced maple flavor. So if you're looking at different grades of maple syrup, it doesn't have anything to do with the quality. It's about how strong of a flavor it is. Okay, now let's go ahead and add some cinnamon. So I'm using some pantry ingredients that we have. The Korinji cinnamon is available while supplies last between October and December. It's sold out for this season, but if you got lucky enough to get a jar of it, add a teaspoon to your wet ingredients, and we'll add a teaspoon of the vanilla also. And that is the base of all the wet ingredients. So a lot of granola recipes have quite a bit of oil in them, and so the only real oil in here is the natural oil from the peanut butter. You can do almond butter if you prefer. So I'm just gonna mix it all up so it's nice and smooth. This is my go-to granola. I've made it here a few times. Some of you may have tried it already, but this is just my favorite. Way better than anything you'll buy in the store. Okay, so now we're gonna go with some rolled oats. I use the old-fashioned kind. So we need 2.5 cups of old-fashioned oats. They're the big, thick ones, just like that. So 1, 2, you can make a double batch if you want to, but if you do, you're gonna wanna split it up between 2 sheet pans because when it bakes, that's when it gets kind of crisp and golden. Okay, let's give this all a, oh, we'll add some nuts too. This is not listed in the recipe originally. I love granola that has nuts in it. So I've got my food chopper and some whole almonds. You can do, whoops, I'll get that after. You can do some pecans if you want to, but coarsely chop these. And then just twist from the top and you can see what they look like. Throw those in the bowl and then we'll do the rest. They add some nutrition, some extra crunch. And we'll get those back in here. Do you all know that you can twist off the top of your food chopper to empty it out? Especially wonderful with things like that, with nuts that are loose that would just spill everywhere. So now you're just gonna mix it all up until everything is nicely coated. If you see parts of your oats that sort of look dry still, just keep mixing. It's not gonna be wet, but you will be able to kind of tell. That looks good. I'm a big fan of making my house smell good with yummy food in the oven. I don't know about you, but I don't burn candles or have a lot of scented things in my house. We just like stuff like this. It's the best, isn't it? Okay, so I did my first batch on a piece of stoneware. This is the large sheet pan, which is the same size. The recipe suggests doing this on parchment. I never do, especially with the stoneware. There's no need to do that. You're gonna put it on a low oven at 300 degrees for half an hour, and you're gonna stir it every 10 minutes. So it will get nice and toasty. So you want to spread it out. So if I had a double batch and I put it in here, it might fit, but it wouldn't allow for that air to move. So there we go. Okay, and then I'll show you how to finish it off. So you can add anything you like to your granola. I love, let's see, this is still a little bit warm. I love to add a couple of things at the end. Now you're not gonna add your raisins when it bakes because they will probably burn. But in this prep bowl, I have unsweetened coconut and raisins. Now this other batch, Mike doesn't like raisins, nut and stuff like this. He'll tolerate it if he can't really taste them too much, but in here, he's not interested. So that other batch, I'm not gonna add raisins to it. And so if you have family members that prefer different things, you know, you can adjust. You can do some other pieces of dry fruit, maybe like diced up dehydrated apples or, you know, other types of nuts. When I have them, I will often add some pepitas, which are pumpkin seeds, when it's baking, and I like it like that too. I was just out today. So there we have it. So add those things at the end and it's gonna be awesome. Once it cools, store it in, you know, airtight, you know, Tupperware type things, or if we're traveling, I'll put it in a gallon-sized Ziploc bag, and we love it. I sprinkle it on top of yogurt. Sometimes I'll do peanut butter and apple, and I'll dunk it in some granola like this. You could even make a hot breakfast and just add a bit of water and cook it like you would oatmeal, and it will rehydrate. So that's my homemade granola. I'll post the recipe in the link. And for those of you who've seen this before and you've been making it for a while, let us know what you think in the comments. I know I'm always on the lookout for a nutritious snack that uses basic pantry ingredients that I can pull off and enjoy the aroma. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a good day.